Hello, I have good news and I have bad news. The good news is we're going to solve some more rational equations. But the bad news is that we can't cross multiply. We'd like to cross multiply, but although this side is a fraction, which is great, this side, it's a fraction plus a number. So we won't be able to cross multiply. We're going to have to use the lowest common denominator. And that means we need to find the smallest number that this denominator goes into, that 4 goes into, and that 6 also goes into. So, what's the smallest number that 4 goes into, that 6 also goes into? It is 12. Yes, what a coincidence. Same as last time. That is actually a coincidence. So we're going to multiply each of these terms, this term here, and this term here, the plus 5, and the 7x over 6. Every term we're going to multiply it by 12. So this term is going to get a multiplied by 12. And you will get a multiplied by 12. And you will get a multiplied by 12. In that way, I've multiplied both sides by 12 so that this equation will have the same solution as this one, have the same answer. Okay, good. So I've multiplied each term by the lowest common denominator. Now I can start cancelling and figuring things out. You may notice that I've got 4 on the bottom of this fraction, and at the top it says 12. Well, 4 goes into 12 3 times. Let's divide both of these things by 4. 12 divided by 4 will give me 3, and 4 divided by 4 will give me 1. The bottom of the fraction is 1, so it will just disappear, the bottom of the fraction. X divided by 1 is just x. Okay, plus this is 12 times 5. I can figure that out. That's going to be 60. And on this side, 7, 6. I can't cancel out there, but I can cancel 12 on the top, 6 on the bottom. I can divide them both by 6. 12 divided by 6 will give me 2. 6 divided by 6 will give me 1. It will just disappear. Okay, let's tidy this up a bit. The first term looks like 3x. Because the 12 has disappeared, the 4 has disappeared, it's just 3 times x. Plus, this second term is easier. 12 times 5 is 60. Then I have my equal sign. Now, I've got 2 times 7x on the top, on the numerator, and nothing on the denominator, nothing on the bottom. Because it's divided by 1, it just disappears. So the top says 2 times 7x. So I'll write that here. And now this is an equation that we know how to solve. We've turned a crazy hard equation into one that we've solved a million times before. To make it even easier, I notice here I have 2 times 7. Well, we can figure that out. Let's replace this 2 times 7 with the answer, which is 14. 2 times 7x is the same as 2 times 7 times x, which is the same as 14x. Everything else, you'll note, I copy down. The 3x, the plus 60, the equals, everything else gets copied down. And I think you know what it's time for. It's time for Mr. Ranieri's favourite game. Is this term on the correct side? I have a 3x term. Letters to the left, numbers to the right. This is a letter term, so it goes to the left. It's in the correct place. Plus 60. Letter terms to the left, number terms to the right. This is a number term, so it's going to have to move over here. And it will turn into negative 60, or subtract 60. And finally, on the right-hand side here, we've got 14x. That's a letter term. Letter terms to the left. Get out of here! You're not on the correct side. This term is going to move over and turn into minus 14x. So, I'll copy down the 3x. That one was in the right place. That 14x turns into negative 14x. When you're moving terms around, that's when they go from positive to negative, or vice versa. I'll copy down the equals. I'll move this term around. The positive 60 term turns into negative 60. Okay, good. All the terms are present and accounted for. Beautiful. I can see 3x take 14x. Those smell like terms to me. I've got 3 lots of x take 14 lots of x. Well, 3 take 14 is negative 11. If you don't believe me, get a number line out and practice with it. So 3 take 14, negative 11, equals everything else gets copied down. Muy importante. That means very important. So I've got negative 11 times x. I've only got one term left on this side, and I want to get x by itself. There's no point moving terms around because I've already got just one term left. I'm going to break that term up. Negative 11 times x. What's the opposite of multiplying? Dividing. So we will turn that times by negative 11, it's being multiplied, into a divide by negative 11. Now there's only one thing left to do, which is to simplify our answer. This number is the correct number for the answer, but let's simplify it. There's nothing that goes into 11 that also goes into 60. They have no common factors, except for one, I know. Let's figure out if this fraction is positive or negative. I've got a negative divided by a negative and a negative is a positive. So therefore x equals 60 over 11, positive, which is just under 5 point something. And we've found our mystery number. You can see the strategy is useful when you would never have been able to guess that. But that is the answer. Let's try another one. Sure, why not? This one, I've got a fraction plus a fraction equals a whole number. I can do the same strategy. Number one, lowest common denominator. I've got a denominator of, spoiler warning, I've got a denominator of 2 and I've got a denominator of 6. What's the smallest number that 2 goes into that 6 also goes into? Well, I could do 12, but actually 6 is fine. 2 goes into 6, yeah, cool, that's great. 6 goes into 6, wonderful. So we're going to multiply each of these 3 terms by 6. I'm going to write it nice and spread out. I've got my first term here. It's a fraction, but that's okay. We're cool with fractions now. 6 times that term. And I'll put it in brackets just to be clear that this isn't just 6 times x, it's 6 times that whole thing there, the whole x plus 3. And over here, I'll do something similar. Remember, I'm multiplying each term by the lowest common denominator. So that also gets a 6 times in front of it. And this term here also gets a 6 times in front of it. Every term is multiplied by the LCD. Now our cancelling will work the same. This looks a little bit scarier, but that's okay. I'm here with you. I've got a 2 on the bottom and a 6 on the top. Hey, I can divide them both by 2. 6 divided by 2 will be 3. And 2 divided by 2 will be 1. It will just disappear. By the way, this video is being filmed live in front of a canine audience, so you might hear some dogs barking. What about this one? I've got a 6 on the bottom and a 6 on the top. Well, I can just cross them both off. I can cancel them. The same thing on the bottom of the fraction and also on the top of the fraction. I can just cross them both off. So they're gone. Okay, and on this side, 6 times 7, we'll figure that out in a minute. So the only thing that's left here is 3 times bracket x plus 3, end bracket. So I can write it like this. Plus, well, the 6 disappeared, the 6 disappeared. This is just x minus 3. Equals, what's 6 times 7? It is 42. So I'll replace that with 42. Okay. Now, this is the kind of equation we've seen before. When we've got an equation with brackets, we first need to expand the brackets. So, 3 times x is 3x. 3 times 3 is 9. If you're not sure about that, go back and watch my expanding brackets videos. They're great. Here, I don't even really need these brackets, do I? They're not necessary. If I'm adding this thing, you can think of it as, well, positive times x is positive x. Positive times negative 3 is negative 3. So the brackets there are kind of useless. I can just get rid of them. Equals 42. The brackets would be useful if that was a minus sign, by the way. Yeah, because then that would be negative x. Yes, Oscar. And a positive times a negative is a negative. Oscar disagrees. All right. Well, now I can simplify these. What can I do, actually? Yeah, let's move our terms around. I've got a few terms over here. Letter term, that will stay on the left. Number term, that will move to the right. Letter term, that will stay there on the left. Number term will move to the right. And this number term will stay where it is because it is already on the right. So 3x stays here. The plus x stays here. Equals, I copy down, 42 stays there. Stay. Good 42. The plus 9 on this side turns into subtract 9 or negative 9 on the other side. The negative 3 term here turns into positive 3 on the other side. You'll notice that I don't really, I treat positive 3 and add 3 kind of the same way. Okay. Well, in the next line, I have 3 lots of x plus 1 lot of x. If I have 3 bananas and I add 1 banana, then I have 4 bananas. Good. So this is 4 times x equals 42 take 9 is 33. 33 plus 3 is 36. Okay, so now I've done moving terms around and collecting like terms. I've only got 1 term left on the left-hand side, so I'm ready to split it up. What's the opposite of multiplying by 4? It is dividing by 4. So the times by 4 here turns into a divide by 4 on the other side. And this number, this fraction, is true. That will make that equation true. But can we give our answer a little bit nicer than that? A little bit simplified? That would be nice. Be easy to understand. What is 36 divided by 4? It's actually a whole number. That goes. 36 divided by 4 is 9. So the answer here is just x equals 9. Well, I hope you've enjoyed learning how to do a few more rational equations. I hope this has been helpful for you. I have forgotten my therefores. Whoopsie. So try not to forget your therefore symbols at the start of each line. But yes, good luck and ask me if you have got any questions. Bye, everyone.